Fuji photographers wear pink leather pants to bed? I'm not really sure why. You'd have to ask one. They've been seen shopping for groceries in vintage thrift shops. There's not even food in there, other than what's ever left over in the pants pockets. Most of them wear film-tinted glasses, so they can see the world as it was in the 70s. They have a tough time letting go. They're weird. They're a weird group, and they need a lens on their camera, and there's one that's been anticipated for eons. But we got it. I can barely lift that thing. I thought it was a crop sensor lens. Why are they bigger than...
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we got a little battle here, my friend. I'm gonna switch to this. We'll do a little side by side. Well, how dare we dream it. Finally, Viltrox has released their 13mm Tony 1.4 lens. The biggest question was, how heavy is that thing gonna be? The answer is wow. It weighs wow grams. Heavier than anything I've ever lifted, and I've lifted this chair. I've lifted it. My buddy Dice lent me his Fuji XT4. That's what the last video of last year was filmed in. This exact setup. What I didn't realize was he hadn't updated the firmware like 5 generations ago. This was like a 2001 firmware. It was exposure hunting, and it was the worst performance I've ever seen, and it made me not miss Fuji whatsoever. Let's compare them. Oh, hey Fuji. Nice to see you back in here. You'll let me move around, right? If I just leave this box, no problems, right? You'll still focus on me. So I am stuck in this box in this one area, and if I were to move outside of it, you would punish me. You better not be. Look at that. Side by side. Fuji versus Sony. I might go outside and do a little vlog battle at night. Well, see what happens out there, so I make this video. It's on this exact setup, and my deepest fears were confirmed that the IBIS would wobble badly with this wide-ass lens. Fuji just doesn't really do that right. And then the digital, it almost enhances the wobble. Makes it even bigger, but stabler, but bigger waves. Strange. Fuji autofocus. And when it comes to the weight of this thing, I mean, this Sony lens, 20mm 1.8, it is 370 grams roughly. This Viltrox, which is like a 21 Tony 2.1, almost the same, slightly less tonnage. 454 grams. How? I don't understand it. When you play the equivalence math on a crop sensor, it's like the smaller the sensor, the bigger the lens to get the equivalent. Like that Voigtlander 10.5, Tony 0.95, equivalent to this, twice the cost. Size, weight. I know words, but is the Fuji color science worth it? I do believe it. Do you see a difference? Side by side, you got your Fuji and your Sony. What if we changed it to the same? Sony's been in Canon color science with Cinematch. Now Fuji is also. We were in Eterna to start off, but now we're both Cinematched to Canon. Are you seeing a difference? It should look identical unless that program's a lie. How y'all doing? So let's go outside and test some stuff. Little who has better IBIS, Sony or this? And is it worth getting this hunking piece of glass and metal? Let me just say before we go, I've owned the 33mm 1.4 and the 56mm 1.4 from Viltrox, and this is by far the most premium feeling of those. It's not even the same league. Like, this is much better, the clicky aperture. That's really good. Everything just feels better. They've worked on it. It's updated from the 33mm bullshit lens that I definitely kept. How y'all doing? Who's doing the Christmas tree Tony balls better? The magic is upon us. Christmas in our hearts. Oh, wow. So we're both in digital stabe, of course. Similar focal length. I think the Sony looks a little wider, as it should. 20mm versus 21-ish. Equivalency over here. You freak. And as long as I stay in this little box in the center, behaving, not having any fun, not expressing myself in the corner or something, it should be alright. Stabe, how's it doing? It's good. If you're careful, it's not great. How does it compare to the Sony stabilization? It's pretty good sometimes. A little jerky and unpredictable. What the hell is that, a bus? A school bus? It's midnight. What kind of crackhead school? What are they teaching our kids? So I find Sony Stabe is nothing to write home about, but it might be better than Fuji Stabe. That's what we're testing now, is it? Because I don't remember from the past. How's that looking? See, those were a couple jerky steps. Autofocus. Auto exposure adjusting. Same walk. Left hand. Admittedly, maybe not as strong as my right. That's a purposeful disadvantage given to you, Fuji. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. How is it? Is it stable? I don't know, man. How's the autofocus auto exposure adjustments? Fuji wins. Fuji wins. Oh, there's people. Oh, they're seeing me. So side by side, who's doing white balance better? I'm lit by moonlight. Literal moonlight. That's my only light. Little traffic lights up there. Oh, that's good times. I don't know. Fuji often does a little magenta in their bullshit. Sony a little red. Only Olympus and Canon know what they're doing. What is that? There's a squirrel, but it's a demon squirrel at night. So let me tell you a little story about the Fuji. I was sick of it. The autofocus was losing me. I had to wear glasses because of my eye aids, which now I'm just like, I don't even care anymore. Look at my eye. I have aids. It's fine. So I sell the Fuji, and I see that I kind of regret it. If I'm being honest with you, I kind of miss it. But now that I've had a chance to use it again, I'm like, oh God, I definitely don't miss you. So I see this other ad. Fuji XT4, same exact thing I was selling with the 2 batteries and the dual charger and the small rig grip. Not the wood one, the other one, more comfortable. And I was like, and same exact price I sold mine for. I was like, is that a sign from the universe I should pounce? Should I be pouncing? Now that I've tried it again, I'm so glad I didn't pounce. Oh, it's heavy. I can't believe how heavy this lens is. I knew it would be, but I'm an idiot. I just thought, oh, vlogging, you want Tana in the background. You really don't. Even this is too much. The only reason it's up there is because its low light abilities are with us. 1/25th of a shutter. That's interesting. 12,800 ISO. That can't be good. If it was me and I had to make this lens, now that I've tested what it is, like, it's a good lens. It's good quality. It's pretty sharp. It autofocuses about as good as a Fuji is gonna do. It's better than the Fuji lenses, kind of. There's the odd pulse. You'll see it. Look at those lights. Does it ever pulse? Don't look at my eye. But it seems like a nice lens, sharp. It's decent. I would recommend it for, I don't know, wildscape photos. Are those? I mixed wildlife and landscaping. You could do it. You could make it work in your portfolio. I would do it. But like star astrophotography, well, 1.4 on that. There's not a damn star in the dome right now. I need to move out of the city. But if I had to redesign this lens, I'm getting Tone, who has the better Christmas light Tone in the background right now. I would make it a Tony 2 and much smaller. I don't know why it has to be so heavy. I think because they're correcting for like corner sharpness, no chromatic aberrations, bullshit like that that nobody cares about. Where's the character? I'm not sure that I see a 3D Leica pop. I'm not seeing it. It looked pretty flat to me. Except the colors of the Christmas lights are glowing right now. Only Viltrox could make that happen. So, like, it doesn't have the character that old lenses used to have, and they were smaller and lighter anyway. And better looking, more magical. I have lighting. Who's doing this better? Looks like the Sony's flickering on the screen. That can't be good. Is it good? Probably not. Fuji looks like it's exposing better. I'm selling the Sony. I look all purple there. Bullshit. Sony color science. I'm lit, but are they gonna rob me? I wonder if the IBIS is much better now that I updated the firmware. Dice. Oh man, that hurts. But my first impressions of the lens were, it's not very good with the IBIS, but I was on firmware 1.2. 7 years ago they made that. Ooh, Sony's at 10,000 ISO right now. Oh, it fixed it. That's the worst. When it's auto-ISOing between 10,000 and 12,800, it goes all clean and then it's nasty. Wait, do it. Car lights, light me for the test. It's doing it. Take that. So it's nice to finally see Viltrox releasing this lens. It's weird that it's heavier than the full frame equivalent, and it's a third party. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but whatever. You do you, Viltrox. See, like Sony, what are you doing? I look red. I better not in real life. So would I recommend this lens for vlogging? It's not your top choice, that's for sure. The 16mm 1.4 had less IBIS wobble, so that's a good thing. It's pricey, a little pricey on that one, but the 16mm 2.8, I feel like if you did some settings, you stayed in your box like a good girl, you would be somewhat decent enough, Tony. And it's super light. That might be what I go with. So interesting release, Viltrox. For astrophotography vlogging, you might have something there. You might have something. Shrink it down in the Mark II. Just shrink it a little bit, a little less metal. Remove 4 of the elements and maybe add lens stabilization, then we wouldn't get the herky jerks. So we're done. We're done here. Is Viltrox being purchased by you through my affiliate links down below? I do believe it is. Wow, good for you. Alright, I'm gonna leave. Sony vs. Fuji, like the good old days. Subscribe. It's called